Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Brexit video. Today a lot has happened. You will probably see this video tomorrow because it's late now in Germany and quite warm, as you can see again, more than 30 degrees. But a lot has happened today and I don't want to miss that one out because we finally heard about the meeting of Jeremy Corbyn and the other leaders of the opposition. As you know, Jeremy Corbyn's major plan was to bring a motion of no confidence to Parliament and then become Prime Minister of a caretaker government to trigger a general election. But we heard before that other leaders of the opposition, like Jo Swinson from the Liberal Democrats, were not very fond of this idea, and he would need some Tory MPs to do that, and they were obviously not following that. So this plan is not the first plan anymore. Today they agreed on another plan. The plan now is to take control of a session of Parliament and bring a bill to stop no deal, for example by delaying the Brexit date. But even though this was the only thing he could get, Jeremy Corbyn still does not rule out that he might bring a motion of no confidence still. But as I said, most of the other opposition leaders and the Tory rebels wouldn't agree with that, so I don't see that working. If they want to do this legislative approach, they probably have to do it already next week, although I don't really see how this is going to work. We all do remember that the Speaker of the House, John Bercow, allowed this for the meaningful votes, but I don't think that this is standard procedure now, so I'm quite curious how they want to achieve that. And even if they can do this, can they convince some Tory MPs to agree to a bill that will just delay the Brexit date? Anna Soubrey from Change UK said that Corbyn made a big leap today because he stopped insisting on becoming Prime Minister. Well, first of all, he didn't stop insisting. When he immediately said he's still keeping that option open. And it was interesting enough that Ian Blackford from the SNP said delaying the Brexit is the thing they could agree on. So there wasn't anything else they agreed on, just that. So with everything Corbyn said and Corbyn expected from this meeting, delaying the Brexit date is all he could achieve. One might wonder if when he will realize that his stubbornness was the reason that they could only achieve that much. At the same time, people are expecting some surprises from Boris Johnson next week. For example, of course, bringing prorogation into the game again. You hopefully saw my video about the 160 MPs joining to fight prorogation. If not, I'll just put a card in here and you can watch it. So the legislative approach is expected to come next week, and some of the people taking part in this meeting today are expecting some former quiet members of Parliament, especially Tories, to help with this. I am not that convinced though. But what made me wonder even more was that some parts of the UK press called this, and I quote, a huge show of unity. I don't know why. It is progress on the Remain side, but it's very small progress. Some members of Labour said Corbyn showed a lot of flexibility. I disagree when I hear that he immediately said, if that doesn't work, I bring my vote of no confidence and then I want to be Prime Minister. That plan has been killed off for the time being, but I have my doubts about this plan, and so I just see Jeremy Corbyn returning to his old plan, saying that didn't work, now you have to do what I want, and I don't believe that will work either. Although the Lib Dems said the agreement on the legislative approach was unanimous. But I'm not very surprised by this, because this is really the most minimal agreement you could find, even though it's not very probable to work. The Lib Dems said definitely that next week the legislative approach will be tested, and that tells me a lot. They only say it will be tested, so even they are not very sure that this could work. But there was one good reason the Lib Dems gave why they prefer this approach. And I must agree there, because there were a lot of talks in the past about Boris Johnson being able to delay a general election in case of a no confidence vote, and Parliament does not manage to get a caretaker prime minister. Many people brought that into the game, that Johnson can delay, and I believe he probably would find a way to do so. So that is an argument from the Lib Dems I really can understand and agree on. There I can understand why they are testing this approach. And the Lib Dems said something that wouldn't help Jeremy Corbyn, I don't believe that, but that could help on this approach, although, as I said, I don't believe this has a good chance to work. But they said that Philip Hammond, who is a Tory, publicly said he will oppose no deal, and that he is someone who could bring in more Tory MPs. And that is a good argument for this approach. But if that fails, I don't believe Jeremy Corbyn could achieve anything else, especially the way he wants to go. As a reaction on all of this, a spokesperson of Jean-Claude Juncker, the still president of the European Commission, repeated their points. They said if the UK is leaving with no deal, that's the UK's choice. The UK still has the choice to bring an alternative for the backstop, so backstop can go immediately after Brexit and be replaced by the alternative, or they can accept a withdrawal agreement. If they do neither, then it's the UK's choice alone to go with a no deal. So as you see, the situation hasn't improved at all. I gave you my comments about 160 MPs, and if you think about how big Parliament is, 160 MPs signing the declaration today is not enough. This approach is one where I'm not even sure if John Bercow will allow this to go through, and even if he does, I'm not absolutely convinced that they can find a majority to delay the Brexit date, and even that won't help. I mean, what is the next step they want to go? The EU won't grant another extension of the Brexit date if there's neither a general election or a second referendum. So just delaying and asking the EU for extension won't work. So I'm quite curious if we hear about the follow-up plans to this from the no-deal opponents, and if there are any. But for today, that's all I can tell you. I hope I could give you some interesting information again. If I did and you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to click the bell so you will be informed about my next Brexit video. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, please. By the way, if you want, don't hesitate to share my videos. I really don't mind, and I would like if you would share my Brexit videos for examples, or if you have friends that are interested in German politics and don't know much about them, send them the link to these videos. But for now, it's quite late in Germany now when I'm filming this. I just say have a good night, and see you soon, and bye bye.